Interpret, representative of Federal Ministry of Youth, my able commissioner, Honorable Yemi Lawal, President National Youth Council of Nigeria, distinguished stakeholders of National Youth Council of Nigeria, fellow comrade, fellow colleague, chairman, National Youth Council of Nigeria, distinguished members of National Youth Council of Nigeria. Build the youth! I am one of the most happiest person today to stand in front of Imperial Majesty and to be fortunate to celebrate the International Youth Day in Osun State. I want to use this medium to appreciate your Imperial Majesty for giving us the opportunity to break the grand record after numerous years of crisis in the National Youth Council of Nigeria. We are starting the unity in the state of Osun. Kabiyesi will appreciate you, sir. I will so much joy for that. On this note, welcome my distinguished colleague from other states of the Federation to the state of the venture. Welcome, and I appreciate you as I wish everybody who are back home to their better destination with peace. Thank you very much. Thank you. Build the youth.
Could you put your hands together for the host chairman? That was very concise. I'm impressed. Build the youths. Build the youths. Build the nation. I said something before we officially started that youth development today have taken a golden dimension in Nigeria, causing of the grace of God upon a young man whom God is using to champion youth development and empowerment in Nigeria. At this juncture, I want to bring him to this podium, the President of National Youth Council of Nigeria, the Commander-in-Chief of Armed Forces of the Youth of the Federal Republic, Comrade Ambassador Sukubo Saraibe, the Golden Boy of Calabari and the Golden Boy of Nigeria, to come and give us his welcome speech. You're welcome, Mr. President.
Build the youth. Build the youth. The special guest of honor, Mr. Sunday Dari, the Honorable Minister of Youth and Sports Development, and his entire entourage from Abuja. While we are waiting for the Honorable Minister on his way to join us soon, the Chief Host, His Excellency Adegboyega Oyetola, the Governor of Osun State, the Royal Host, Its Imperial Majesty Oba Adeye Enitan Ogunsi Ojaja II, the 51st Ooni of Ife and Yoruba Kingdom. The focus of today's celebration, Nigerian youths here present, gentlemen of the press, and all other protocol duly observed. Today, the 12th of August, the day chosen by the United Nations as International Youth Day, despite the restrictions of hosting, this restriction of COVID-19 pandemic, His Imperial Majesty, the Ooni of Ife, is hosting the youth of Nigeria. In His Royal Palace. His Excellency, the Governor of Osun State, is hosting us in his state. And the senior pilot of Nigerian youths, our own Honorable Minister, is overseeing this year's celebrations. Even though he's not here, we know that wherever he is, he's overseeing this program. What more can Nigerian youths ask for? The theme of this year, International Youth Day 2020, the youth engagement for global actions, calls on all stakeholders to find practical ways for achieving youth engagement at all levels, local, state, national, and global, and therewith enrich, rejuvenate, and speedily develop societies, communities, nations, and indeed the world. For me and all my fellow executive members in the National Youth Council of Nigeria, today's celebration is also an opportunity to forge strategic alliances with selected senior stakeholders needed to move local and national leadership in favor of youth engagement. For this reason and more, we will be giving out 3 important awards here today. One of the awards goes to His Imperial Usefulness, the Ooni of Ife. And the second award will go to Her Usefulness, Her Excellency, Dr. Mrs. Elizabeth Jakrish. And the third award goes to His Excellency, the Governor of Osun State. Fellow Nigerian youths, as we reflect on youth engagement for global action, today, let us realize that a new era of opportunities and responsibility is now upon us. Today's youths are now being called upon to rise as practical stakeholders in governance and development. Of course, we in Nigeria, we have unique advantage and development. Of course, His Excellency, the President Muhammad Buhari, GCFR in Council, has just set up the Nigerian Youth Fund with 75 billion naira. This new fund is clearly unique and instrument of youth inclusion and engagement, and we are deeply grateful to Mr. President and Council for it. As we deliberate today, may God bless Nigerian youth, may God bless the Federal Ministry of Youth and Sports Development, may God bless the National Youth Council of Nigeria, and may God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Thank you, and God bless you.
A round of applause for Mr. President. Call him the capacity president. Our father will permit me to just say one thing before I bring in our keynote speaker. Some young men took it upon themselves to broker peace. Some young men took it upon themselves to broker peace in National Youth Council of Nigeria. They were leaders in their own domain. They were presidents in their domain. But it came to a point they said no. For the interest of the generality of young people of Federal Republic of Nigeria, we will make sure that peace reigns. I want Comrade Nii and Comrade Abdullahi to stand up and wave their hands for recognition by our father, His Imperial Majesty. Nii, these two young men took it upon themselves. Bello Shagari is not here. And in the same vein, sir, on behalf of the young people of Nigeria, we want to say thank you, Daddy, for honoring one of us, for appointing the grandson of late President of Nigeria, Bello Shagari, as a director of an organization within this palace. You've done us so much. We'll celebrate you as a pride, sir. Sit down. Listen. Sir, it will also interest you to know that the Speaker of Nigerian Youth Parliament is here. A young man who is also doing very well within the youth constituency. Right Honorable Mubarak Miji Yawa. Stand up, let our father see you. Ladies and gentlemen, build the youth. The first day I stepped into this palace, something happened. I got to the gate. I was stunned by what I saw. I couldn't walk in. Have you gone to a man's house and the tasteful decoration of the house could not allow you to sit down until you are asked to sit? I could not come in. I had to beckon on one of my brothers to come and bring me in. And when I walked into this place, I was dazed. I was amazed. And I felt within me that this palace could be more beautiful than even the Buckingham Palace. Some people will say, if you want to see heaven on earth, I tell you authoritatively, come to the palace of our father, His Imperial Majesty, the Ooni of Ife. I've gone places. As a former chairman of chairmen, I've thought round the nooks and crannies of this federation. I am yet to see, maybe there is one somewhere, but I want to say, I am yet to see a palace as beautiful, as aesthetic as this palace. Daddy, Kabiesi, it will interest you to know something, sir. When I was beckoned by Mr. President to come to this place, one of the motivating factors was to come and have the privilege of sighting to see you, sir. Sincerely, I'm not flat, sincerely. I see you gracing screens, televisions, and Facebook, but I had loved to come and see you, have first-hand interface with you, and today I am seeing you. I don't know if the Royal Majesty will allow me to come close.
Kabiesi said you should come closer so you can take pictures. Please put your hands together for Mr. Temple. Kabiesi, sit closer to you and take pictures. Please put your hands together for Mr. Temple.
I want to tell you, you may not understand the spiritual import of what has happened. There is a transfer of kingship to me too. No. It may not have to do with here. I'm not saying it has to do with here, but there is a transfer of kingship anointing. Let me also say this before I bring our Amazon to take over the podium. On the day of the coronation of His Imperial Majesty, he so simply, deliberately dedicated his throne to youth development. And I did say when we started, I am not the best person in terms of having sense of history, but I'm always good to know certain things that have taken place or those ones that have not taken place. In the history, in the annals of history of the polity of this nation, I have never seen a king in the magnitude and status of historic Imperial Majesty hosting the International Youth Bosa! Bosa! On this note, sorry, there's another observation. When I walked into this place, I observed something, His Imperial Majesty. That all the aides, almost 80% of the aides here are young people. We have visited palaces. The moment you grace the gate, the first person that graces your presence is an elder. Some of them could be walking with sticks. I'm stating the obvious, and we know that. But His Imperial Majesty chose to walk with young people. Isn't that wonderful?
Very wonderful.
His imperial youthfulness. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to bring to the microphone an Amazon, a woman of stunning beauty, a woman that is beauty personified, exemplified, and epitomized. Dr. Mrs. Elizabeth Jackridge, come and give us a keynote address. Welcome to the podium. Put your hands together. Put your hands together. Put your hands together. Put your hands together. You are clapping for our matron. Put your hands together. Do that better now. Do that. Mother. You don't want to find like our mother.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Are we not happy to be here? Since I walked in, it's been so silent. Thank you so much for the honor. I'm truly humbled to be chosen to receive this great award. I would like to recognize all the directors that are here to represent the Honorable Minister of Youth and Sport. Thank you all for coming. The Commissioner of Youth and Sport, thank you for being here. I'm grateful to the leadership of the National Youth Council of Nigeria under Ambassador Honorable Sokuba, Saraibe Sokuba. I always tell him his name very funny. And considering me for this great award, thank you so much. I would like to acknowledge the effort and blessings of my father, our father, the Imperial Majesty, the Ooni of Ife. Thank you, Daddy, and all protocols observed. I would like to use this opportunity to give my condolences to the families of those who have been affected by the COVID-19 pandemic all over the world. We have you in our prayers. I would also like to thank and salute the courage of our frontline workers who have put their lives on the line to ensure the rest of us are safe. Thank you very much on behalf of the youth of Nigeria. I am extremely humbled and honored to be receiving such an important award, the matron of the Nigerian youth. I'm honestly grateful for the recognition I have received for committing to the youth development in Nigeria, being a youth myself. I get motivation from the words of great men like Martin Luther King, who said, "If I cannot do great things, I can do little things in a great way." I cannot change the world, but I can change the world around me little by little. This award means a lot to me. Not that my previous awards mean less. The fact that this comes from the youth of our great nation speaks a great volume. I would like to extend my gratitude to my team at the Elizabeth Jackridge Foundation, my family, and my very supportive and amiable husband, Engineer Jackridge, for being a pillar of support and a great motivation for all my contributions to the development of our youth in our great country, Nigeria. I was introduced here as Dr. Elizabeth Jackridge, founder of the Elizabeth foundation, but in reality, I'm only one person out of many, but not enough people, who have devoted their lives to a greater cause, bigger than themselves. So I sincerely thank you all once more again for helping me reach a stage where I can proudly say I hold up this award as a mark of recognition for my adoption of humanitarianism. I also promise to do more as God enlarges my capacity. And I also promise, giving to me such a huge and great responsibility, from today henceforth, I will continue to integrate myself into the growth and development of the Nigerian youth. I will close by encouraging our youth to be strong when you're weak, be brave when you're scared, be humble when you're victorious, and your life will be better off. Thank you very much. God bless you.
Please, let's put your hands together for Dr. Mrs. Elizabeth Jack Rich. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, before we move ahead, please permit me to do the introduction of one of our royal fathers that is here with us, Oba Mayowa Adesina. Please, let's say Kabiyesi.
Another round of applause for Dr. Mrs. Elizabeth Jackwich. If you have our program, we crave your indulgence to permit us to skip some lines in order to meet up with our time. At this juncture, I want to call on a young man who is doing very well, a young man who has passion, who has shown passion for youth development in Nigeria, a young man who had advocated strongly for the mainstreaming of Nigerian youth in governance, one of the advocates of not too young to run, a medical doctor by profession, the founder of AFRYBOD, National Strategy Team member, not too young to run, a convener, Make Our Hospital campaign, executive producer and host of a health program as he mounts the podium, Dr. Lars Efe, to come and give us his formal paper presentation. Dr. Lars will have to make do with 10 minutes. Just 10 minutes.
The representatives of the Minister of Youth Development, Your Excellency the host, ably represented by Commissioner for Youth, our Father, His Imperial Majesty Kabiyesi, ladies and gentlemen, permit me to remove my mask. Please, I have some physical distancing, so the chances that I'll speak to anyone is unlikely, so that I'll speak faster. Thank you very much. I'll be speaking on youth engagement for sustainable national development. This in line with the theme of the International Youth Day, which is youth engagement for global action. So the global action we need as Nigerians is sustainable national development. It gives me great joy to be back here. My first time here was 2006 as a medical student at the University of Ibadan. I was the acting president of the Federation of African Medical Students, and we were here in Ife to have a meeting, and we came to pay homage to the late Ooni of Ife. May God bless his soul forever. And it's my pleasure to be back here and speaking in the presence of the most youth-friendly traditional ruler you can see in any part of the world. Well, let me start with saying who is a youth. There are a lot of definitions about who a youth is. The United Nations define it as those who are aged between 15 and 24. The National Youth Policy of Nigeria, which was revised in 2018, said it's between 15 and 29. It revised it from 18 to 35 to 15 to 29. The African Charter on Youth said it's 18 to 35. So, going by that definition, you ask yourself, are you still a youth? I ceased to be a youth by that definition, by the definition of African Charter a couple of years ago. But when we talk about engagement, of course we know in Nigeria, when you say young people, it can go beyond the age of 35 years. Let me use the resource I got from Act for Youth in terms of explaining youth engagement. And it's the result when young people are involved in responsible, challenging action to create positive change. This means involving youth in planning and making decisions to affect themselves and others. Youth engagement happens in youth-adult partnerships like the one we are having today. There are structures so that both groups will contribute, teach, and learn from each other. The event of today demonstrates that youth-adult partnership. And the activities like this should happen very often, not just here, but every other part of the country. But permit me to ask these questions. Are Nigerian youths engaged for actions? My answer would be yes. But we also want to ask, what kind of actions are the youth engaged? Positive, negative, active, passive? You know what it is. But how well are we engaged for positive action in our communities, states, nationally, and even globally? We have a situation where the word youth is usually referenced for things that are negative. When Ayodele Dada broke University of Lagos record of a CGPA of 5.0 in 2016, he was 29 years old. He was honored by the National Assembly. But not so much emphasis was made on his youthfulness. But in recent times, when Hush Puppy was arrested for accusations of crime, everybody was talking about how lazy and how youth want to make it quickly. When Mr. Sida Chidoka was appointed at the age of 35 to head Federal Road Safety Commission, a role many people felt he did well. Not so much is being said about his being a youth. But when former head of House of Representatives, who became Speaker at the age of 39, was accused of corruption, they were using it as an example of how the youth cannot lead. We also know that the former governor of Cross River was widely given accolades for his Tinapa initiative. He became a governor at the age of 37 when he was elected, sworn in when he was 38. Not so much was being said about his youth. But we all know that critics of a governor in North Central states always use him as an example who got elected at the age of 41, re-elected at 45, to give an example on how badly young people could perform. I can go on and on, but what I'm trying to say is that majority of young people and youth in Nigeria are doing very great things, changing things, making impact in their communities and every part of the world, but rarely do people or the media use the word youth in describing it. Rather, they give accolades, but when it's something bad, it becomes youth. So let's help to push that positive narrative that yes, some youth, some young people might not be doing great, but overwhelming majority do great things. Youth empowerment is not a cliche, where a cliche for distributing handouts, took easy, but We know that youth empowerment goes beyond distributing Okada, Keke, giving tokens that people always come back with. I wouldn't want to dwell so much on things that are not being right. Let me just, because of our time, go direct to making some recommendations. But beginning from what empowering youth really means. Of course, education is key. Whether you school up to PhD level or whether you live at the basic level of JS3, we all need standard quality education. And the Ooni of Ife, Kabiyesi, have begun what is an example of empowering young people, encouraging young people. Recall that 8 months ago, he brought 100 young people, youth, from across the country here and celebrated them and made a very strong statement. While some traditional rulers might be giving awards to the highest bidders, he is bringing young people who are working very hard and giving excellence. That's part of youth empowerment, not just distributing tokens. And those ones will never forget that experience. And it will make them to keep working hard and make other sets to work harder in order to get the recognition of the throne. Apart from sustainable investment in education, which also include giving scholarships to people to access quality education, we also need sustainable investment in the health sector, which is an area I do a lot in as a public health physician. Our primary health care requires up to 35 staff, according to what minimum health care package the national policy says. Not many primary health care facilities can boast of up to five or 4. We require essential drugs, which if you list them, they're up to 70. The equipment are more than 90. And all these things are national documents. We need to do better. States, local governments especially. We need to empower young people with innovative skills in information and communication technology. Because ICT is the new petroleum, is the new oil. We need to support young persons with grants or low interest after training them. Yes, it's already being done by Ministry of Agri, some CBN programs, but the implementation is done in such a way that sometimes even those who are deserving don't get to benefit from it. Let's do it better. We need to establish a good reward system, not just focus on punishing those who do wrong, but also encouraging the majority of youth and young people who are doing great things, and many of them are seated around here. One goes as for yourself. Thank you very much. I would not want to end this without also making recommendation for us or the youth or young persons, things we need to do better. We need to invest more in ourselves. And I'm speaking not just to persons who are here, but young people all around the country. When you invest in yourself, whatever you choose to do, learn it very well. If you want to learn a skill, learn it very well. You want to go to school, learn it very well. When you invest in yourself, in gaining knowledge, acquiring skills, you'll be confident and you'll be respected. And you work hard and you're going to make it over time. Things are not so easy in the country. We can complain till tomorrow, but it's not easy anywhere. I had my postgraduate in the US, I had the option of staying back. I did my analysis, talked with those who stayed back after their masters, and how long it took them to stabilize. And I looked at the impact I could make with my degree in the country, and I chose to come back home. And I can say proudly, over the past 7 years that I've stayed in this country, doing a lot in the health sector, and recently we launched what we call the Make Our Hospital Work campaign on 15th of June this year. Close to 700 persons have signed up in all the 36 states and FCT. And we are using this to energize, mobilize community action for our wards and villages and traditional leaders to play their roles in the health sector, because COVID-19 has shown us that we can't always have the privilege of traveling abroad, even if you have the money to seek for health care. And even when you have the money, if you have an emergency that requires immediate blood transfusion, and the nearest health facility cannot do that, before you move from Ife to Shobo or from Ikire to Ibadan, the person may have probably lost their life. So we need to make our hospital work. I'm running up in a couple of minutes. Every young person needs to be an active citizen, and that's just what I explained. Active citizens involves being involved in our community action in every aspect, doing charity. It involves doing investment in education. The little you can do. At the age of my 19th birthday, I went to a secondary school and asked for the list of the best students, and I bought mathematics textbooks and gave them. Because when I was in primary 2, I was a beneficiary of a long note when I came first in class. I knew how motivated that made me. I never wanted to receive the short notes those that took second position got. And I kept on taking first till I finished primary school. And I wanted to start doing something like that to encourage others. Not just I did at 1929, I got other friends. We scaled it up and called it Opposite Education Initiative that we did in our community. We reward the best 3 students in every class in all the public secondary schools. By this year, we'll be doing the 10th edition of that. We contribute money to do this, just about 15 of us. And I can tell you there are a lot of testimonies from parents, as little as those things were, on how their children didn't have books, but those we gave them. That's part of being active citizens. That's part of doing community action. The monetary value might not be so much, but the impact, we might not be able to measure it. The youth constitute more than 2/3 of the population of this country. And I'm talking about those who are less than 35 years of age. So if the country is not going well, we are the ones that have what it takes to steer it in the right direction. And by participating in politics, which many persons here are already doing, join a political party of your choice, which is part of the things we push in Not Too Young to Run movement, we're able to get the constitution amended to reduce the age of eligibility to 25 years for House of Assembly and House of Representatives, and President up to 35 years. And with that, we had many more persons. Now we can boast of young persons as speakers in Oyo State, in Kwara State, in Zamfara State, in Plateau State, at a period that it was as if that position was meant for people who are 40 years and above. But it's not a one-off thing. We have to keep it going. In the next election, let more members of National Youth Council of Nigeria that have developed immense capacity in the process of the work you've been doing. More persons get into these positions, contest elections, and get into leadership positions. Let's begin to fix our country from our communities, from our state constituency up to the state level. That's what we need. Other youth in Africa are looking forward to us Nigerians to provide leadership in the continent, because at the risk of sounding a modest, no country in sub-Saharan Africa has more young persons with better capacity and experience than Nigerians. And we must be proud of that. We cannot allow ourselves to be defined by very minute persons who are all over the place doing the wrong things. Nigeria accounts for the best educated persons in the United States of America among immigrants. If you check those who are earning highest among immigrants in the US, are Nigerian professionals. And most of them migrated as youth. Many are still migrating to different places. So we must be proud of who we are as Nigerian youth, and not let ourselves be defined by the likes of Invictus and few other persons who did wrong things and got. Anytime anybody tells us about Hush Puppy or Invictus, let's tell them about Nigerian doctors who are saving lives in the United Kingdom, in Ghana, in South Africa, and even here in Nigeria, working under some of the most difficult conditions, not just doctors, nurses, midwives, and everybody. Ladies and gentlemen, finally I want to give a big shout out to all young men and women around the country that have been working hard against all odds, be probably insulted or dehumanized because of their poor economic background. Those people have tried several times building businesses, going to school, and failed sometimes, but they are still pushing. I think they need one bossa. Those people that have refused to join criminal gangs or raise arms against the state out of frustration, but keep working hard with hope. I see hope. I see hope because the likes of His Imperial Majesty KBAC have dedicated his throne to supporting young persons and is having reverberating effect across the nooks and crannies of this country. Great Nigerian youth, let everyone arise, contribute individually and collectively to sustainable development of Nigeria, the one and only country majority of us can call our own, no other country. If you know what a lot of young Nigerians go through outside the shores, you need to live here to appreciate some things we enjoy here that we take for granted. Arise, arise, arise. Let's develop our country sustainably. Thank you very much. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your listening. And thank you once again, KBAC, for hosting us. Let me also do like temple and with the permission of His Imperial Majesty, have a memorable picture because I don't know when next I'll have this kind of privilege.
Please, let's put our hands together for Dr. Lars, please. Please, the cameraman as well, Lorena, could you please give space? Arika, it's about time now for you to take the stage. Arika, just 3 minutes. Arika, to please take the stage. Ìṣẹ́jú mẹ́ta péré, ẹ jọ̀ọ́, please, cameraman, kindly, please, excuse us.
We're going to play, don't you?
That's one makes sense.
Kábíyèsí ọba Adéyẹyè ẹ kú àlejò bàbá ẹ máa pẹ́ fún wa. Gbogbo ẹ̀yin ọ̀dọ́ pátápátá gbogbo yín mo kí n wò lónìí yá nìkan. Ẹ bá mi ṣètọ́jú màmá mi. Elizabeth mama gbà ayaja kriche ìṣọ̀kan o la gbé wa o ìṣọ̀kan o la gbé wa o gbogbo ọ̀dọ́ o ẹjẹ́ wà ní ìṣọ̀kan o ìṣọ̀kan o la gbé wa o ẹ̀yin ọ̀dọ́ o ẹjẹ́ ká wà ní ìṣọ̀kan. President wọ́n ti sọ bẹ́ẹ̀ kúbò sọ bẹ́ẹ̀ o. Ọba Adéyẹyè ọ̀dì ó ti wà ní Sàká. Gbogbo ẹ̀yin ọ̀dọ́ pátá kájọ fọwọ́sowọ́pọ̀. Ọba Adéyẹyè ó sọ pé ká wà ní Sàká. Ẹ̀yin ọ̀dọ́ ẹ̀yin kì í ṣọmọ kọ́mọ tí màá lè jẹ́ o. Ẹ̀yin kì í ṣọmọ kọ́mọ tí màá lè jẹ́ o. Ẹ̀yin ọ̀dọ́ là ń gba aṣíwájú wa lẹ́yìn ọ̀la. Ẹ̀yin kì í ṣọmọ kọ́mọ tí màá lè jẹ́ o. Ẹ̀yin kì í ṣọmọ. Ọ̀rọ̀ bá mi kí màmá mi, màmá dára ó rẹwà, ibikíbi tá a wù ká lè lọ, ọba òkè sálà sílẹ̀, mọ́mí o. Bàjẹ́ mọ́mọ́ ẹni bá ní kò ní rí bẹ́ẹ̀, afọlẹ́jú, akálápá kò sẹ́gun tírélà, ọba mi kẹ́lí sábẹ́tì o. Ọmọ Ìlàjẹ àdóòdò iwájú Ìlàjẹ òmi gbọ́rọ̀ o ẹ̀yìnkùlé Ìlàjẹ òdò máa ní o dákúndábà fún mi lẹ́jà méjì jẹ́ ọba òkè ẹ̀sálà. káwa jẹ̀ṣẹ̀ ọjọ́ ọ̀dọ́ máa dùn ó onírìṣà gbogbo ayé káwa jẹ̀ṣẹ̀ gbogbo ayé wá bá wa ṣe ọjọ́ ọ̀dọ́ ayájọ́ ọ̀dọ́ máa dùn ó ọjọ́ ọ̀dọ́ ayájọ́ ọ̀dọ́ máa dùn ó bí ìjọyẹ̀ bá pokú papọ̀ o bàbá ni ó ṣe ó pokú papọ̀ o.
Thank you very much. Please let's put our hands together for Arike and his call and our cultural troupe. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Stop shaking your backyard. Stop shaking your backyard. Thank you very much. And ladies and gentlemen, we have somebody all the way from Yobe State, Honorable Abubakar Jajero. Please, where's Honorable Abubakar Jajero to please step forward and pay homage to KBAC, all the way from Yobe State. Please, let's put hands for Honorable Abubakar, all the way from Yobe State. So, no, ya kwana biu, ya jin daddy, I jin daddy the Baba to go back about Akane. The only one I understand is the one I've just spoken, please. And ladies and gentlemen, like Mr. Temple said all the time, we have to skip some programs. And definitely we'll be going to the decoration of His Imperial Majesty and the very distinguished people on the height. Thank you very much. Honorable Temple, Honorable Temple, please. Honorable Temple. Okay. Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, now, immediately after the decoration of His Imperial Majesty, we'll go to the decoration of the Governor and also to Dr. Mrs. Elizabeth Jackrish. The Governor will say speech, and definitely the press will definitely have interviews with all these wonderful people. Ladies and gentlemen, I have this very kind information that the Honorable Minister, Mr. Sunday Dare, is represented by Mrs. Abdullahi. Please let's put our hands together for her. Please, could you please rise? Thank you very much. Thank you so much.
Special recognition to UNFPA, a body that is dedicated to developing young people in Nigeria that have worked in partnership with the Federal Ministry of Development. I want to recognize them and appreciate what they've been doing for Nigerian youths. She's not here.
And they got it down, she's on her way coming out.
On that, I will want to call on want to get into delve into something that is very paramount. One of the key things that we've come to do here today, Mr. President, the President of National Youth Council of Nigeria, will step forward with the representative of the Minister of Youth and Sports Development, the Director MSM, will step forward to do the investiture proper, decorating, presentation of the award to His Excellency the Governor, Dr. Mrs. Jack Rich, and our Father, His Imperial Majesty. I call on Mr. President and the representative of the ministry, the minister, to walk up to the podium and take up the microphone. Nigerian youth, when your president they come, what do you supposed to do? You were supposed to begin make noise, shout.
That's it.
While the president is standing, we are waiting for Dr. Mrs. Elizabeth Jackrich to have her seat so that she will be decorated. As soon as we are through with her, we will respectfully and humbly expect our Father, His Imperial Majesty, to also be decorated with his investiture.
And ladies and gentlemen, now the decoration will be done now for His Imperial Majesty. Shall we say KBSU? Mr. President.
Your Imperial Youthfulness, it is with great privilege on behalf of the youths of this great country that the National Youth Council of Nigeria, under the leadership of Ambassador Sokubo Seraibe Sokubo, will be presenting an award to His Imperial Majesty as the Royal Father of Nigerian youths in recognition and appreciation of your commitment to youth development in Nigeria. No doubt, your Imperial Majesty has contributed so much to youth development in Nigeria, as even the MC has rightly stated that this throne has been dedicated to the Nigerian youth. I would therefore call on the representative of the minister, Dr. Mrs. Miriam Abdullahi, and the president of the National Youth Council to go forward and present this award. And the representative of the SA to the president on youth and student matters.
Yes. Immediately after the presentation of His Imperial Majesty, the next presentation will be for Mr. Governor. Alhaji Gboyega Oyetola, and to receive of Mr. Governor is Honorable Yemi Aziz Lawal, the Honorable Commissioner for Youth and Sports. Mr. President, now it's next to Mr. Governor.
His Imperial Majesty Oba Adeyeye Edito Musi. It's the permission of the representative of the Honorable Minister. The Nigerian youth has decided that His Excellency the Governor of Osun State will be honored with the permission of the commissioner that is here, that the chairman of the Youth Council in Osun State will be leading a delegation of youth and the president to the office of the commissioner, who will now take us to the governor's place to present his award. So we have just been told that the award will be presented directly to the governor through the commissioner. So now the next award will be going to Dr. Mrs. Elizabeth Jackridge. So while we are waiting for her arrival, I will hand over the microphone to the MC.
Build the youths, while we wait for her arrival, the next recipient of an award, I want to call on the representative of UNFPA to come and make a 2-minute presentation. 2 minutes presentation. We are running with time. UNFPA. You're welcome, sir.
Your Royal Majesty, Your Jaja II, it's a privilege to be here today. My name is Tayo Loshude. I'm not from UNFPA, but I'm from Mind the Gap, a very strategic partner with the Ministry of Youth. And I'm just here this afternoon to quickly present, if the video is ready, to quickly present the 2-minute goodwill message from the country representative of United Nations Population Fund. Your Royal Majesty, her name is Ola Elizabeth Muller. She's been waiting since 10 a.m. wanting to hear you and have an experience of this session. And they were on Zoom, on the online. As we speak right now, they are watching via electronic, and it's been exciting. And because they couldn't wait, so she has a 2-minute goodwill message that she has sent. She's one person, and the UNFPA, one organization that you will find a very powerful ally in your quest to actually take the Nigerian youth to the next level. Because one of the things United Nations organizations are looking for is internal capacity that they will work with to take Nigerian youth to the next level. So it's my honor to just have a 2-minute speech presented. And as we speak right now, we have many Nigerian youth actually watching on Facebook, and so many of them actually came in earlier via Zoom, looking forward to actually having that opportunity of listening and engaging with your Royal Majesty. So if that video is ready, can we just play it 2 minutes? All right, can we just play it? So and the high point of it, okay.
Honorable Minister of Youth and Sport Development, Chief Sunday Direct, His Imperial Majesty Oba Adeyeye Enitan Ogunwusi Ojaja II, the Ooni of Ife, and other royal fathers present here. The President, the National Youth Council of Nigeria, Ambassador Sukubo Sarah Igbe Sukubo, creative and innovative Nigerian youth, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Today, with the young people of Nigeria, UNFPA celebrates all Nigerian youth on the occasion of the International Youth Day. This year's theme, Youth Engagement for Global Action, demonstrates the importance of young people as key stakeholders in taking action to solve problems in their communities. They need to be included and heard in decision-making. Just as the rest of the world, people in Nigeria are living in extraordinary times and are greatly impacted by the COVID-19 pandemic. The situation is serious, and we need to think differently about the solutions and make the decision-making more diverse and more inclusive. Amongst the devastating effect of the pandemic, the loss of opportunities for employment, for education, and access to essential services, such as reproductive health services and gender-based violence services. All this means that young people, many young people, are facing infringement of their rights and choices. Young women and girls are particularly vulnerable, whether they're married or unmarried. And if they are also living with a disability, their risk is even higher. UNFPA is, however, confident that this time will also pass. Yes, young people, they have always been in the forefront. They've been in the forefront of revitalizing and bringing back hope and progress and making the world a better place. We would probably do a lot better in listening and including them, and asking them also to respect diversity. Disabled youth remains another untapped pool of talent. Sheer number and talent, the innovative spirit, the technological acumen, enterprise and networking abilities of young people is what we need to change the world and set us all on the right course for good together. Together being the key word. As the world seeks to build back better, we must ensure that young people are prioritized in order to have access to education, to the tools they need and the services necessary for them to reach their full potential and participate fully in all political and democratic processes. UNFPA Nigeria will continue its support to young people to make sure that they are at the forefront and that young women are equally represented in decision-making processes for the achievement of the demographic dividend through the investments in health and family planning, education, skills development, and addressing gender inequalities in line with the Nigeria Youth Policy and Demographic Dividend Roadmap, which was developed with support from UNFPA. UNFPA is committed to this. So today, let us join hands across generations. Let us come together and rise to the challenges before us, working with the youth to build a more inclusive, sustainable future for all. And let us ensure that their voices are heard, that we listen to them, and let us commit to learning from them.
Can we put our hands together for the country representative of UNFPA? Can you do better than that, please? Better than that, please. Better than that. We are running with time. I want to call on the representative of the Minister for Youth and Sports Development, the director of NSN to walk up to the podium and give her speech. Put your hands together as comes now, please. If you want to clap, you clap. She's our mommy. She's our mommy. You're welcome.
Thank you very much. On behalf of the Honorable Minister of Youth and Sport Development, Mr. Sunday Dare, he has sent me to express and give his apology. Now, although he's not here with you, but his presence is here. His heart is with Nigerian youth. Thank you. Address of the Honorable Minister, Federal Minister of Youth and Sport Development, Sunday Dare, delivered on the occasion of the 2020 International Youth Day celebration on 12 August 2020. It is my singular honor to welcome you all to this event to commemorate the 2020 International Youth Day. As you are aware, the United Nations General Assembly in 1999 endorsed the recommendation made by the World Conference of Ministers responsible for youth that 12 August be declared International Youth Day. The International Youth Day, therefore, constitutes part of the United Nations broader world program of action for youth, an initiative targeted at promoting the general well-being and livelihood of young people with its priority focus on education, employment, poverty and hunger, environmental issues, drug abuse, juvenile delinquency, leisure time activities, health, girls and women, HIV/AIDS, information and communication technology, intergenerational issues and conflicts, the mixed impact of globalization, and the full and effective participation of youth in socio-economic development and in decision-making process. The theme for the 2020 International Youth Day celebration is Youth Engagement for Global Action. The theme seeks to highlight the ways in which the engagement of young people at the local, national, and global levels is enriching national and multilateral institutions and processes, as well as draw lessons on how their representation and engagement in formal institutional politics can be significantly enhanced. This theme is arrived at based on the strong belief and consensus that enabling the engagement of youth in formal political mechanisms will reduce democratic deficits, thereby increasing the fairness of political processes, as well as contribute to better and more sustainable policies. Youth engagement will also restore trust in public institutions, especially among the young people. There's not a saying that the Nigerian youth now and in future have a major role to play in how our quest for sustainable development. With the youth come energy, innovation and optimism. Hence, we must not stop at anything to make there a supportive environment and opportunities to lay the foundation for positive contribution by the young people. The President Muhammadu Buhari-led administration is fully convinced that the youth are fully engaged. Vast majority of challenges facing Nigeria as a nation at the moment will be effectively addressed. I want to use this opportunity, therefore, to reiterate government's commitment to the full engagement of Nigerian youth through the protection of their rights, provision of opportunities, national ownership and leadership, participation, gender equality, sustainability, innovation, volunteerism, intergenerational knowledge sharing, and by working with for the young people. You will agree with me that since the emergence of this administration and in line with that position, disposition, the government has been consciously working to raise the level of youth engagement. Excuse me. Provide an enabling environment for the Nigerian youth to excel and reach their full potential so that the Nigerian society can fully enjoy the immense benefits associated with investment on youth. Excuse me. Sorry. I check it again. You will agree with me that since the measure of this administration and in line with that disposition, the government has been consciously working to raise the level of youth engagement, provide an enabling environment for the Nigerian youth to excel and reach their full potentials so that the Nigerian society can fully enjoy the immense benefits associated with investment on the youth. In this regard, many initiatives, programs, and activities have been floated. As you are already aware, government recently approved the Nigerian Youth Investment Fund. In line with our commitment to full engagement of the Nigerian youth, the President National Youth Council of Nigeria, Ambassador Sokumbo, the Speaker, Nigerian Youth Parliament, and a good number of other young people are members of the Nigerian Youth Investment Fund focal group. The NYIF group, which is an assemblage of youth leaders and groups from diverse endeavors, entrepreneurial experts, and individuals with youth development and financial expertise, it starts with the responsibility of aggregating stakeholder views and inputs and made same available to the technical committee for implementation. Excuse me. The digital literacy and skill acquisition, entrepreneurship, employability, and leadership initiative of the ministry, as you are aware, is ongoing. This is one of the ministry initiatives targeted at changing the scenario where a significant proportion of the Nigerian youth join the labor force yearly without the requisite skills and experience essential for them to fend for themselves and fully become productive members of the Nigerian society. As I stated earlier, our President Muhammadu Buhari-led government will leave no stone unturned in our quest to fully engage the Nigerian young people. We at the Ministry of Youth and Sport Development will continue to work and advocate for more funds and investment in the youth sector to provide opportunities for Nigerian young people to shape their societies and the Nigerian nation at large. In this regard, government is committed to establishing more youth platforms and institutions to further enhance participation of young people in decision-making at the local, national, regional, and international levels. This is very crucial in terms of young people's sense of belonging and responsibility in community and nation building, as well as gaining democratic citizenship skills, and more importantly, to be empowered to take active charge of their lives and communities. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to assure you that this government will not relent until Nigerian youth are placed on a pedestal where they can compete favorably with their counterparts from around the globe. Having stated this, I want to sincerely appreciate the government and good people of Osun State, and most especially His Imperial Majesty, His Imperial youthfulness, our youth-friendly Royal Father, for hosting the 2020 International Youth Day celebration. God bless you all. On this note, ladies and gentlemen, I wish all Nigerian youth happy 2020 International Youth Day. Thank you.
Can you do better than that, please? Build the youth, build the nation. Ladies and gentlemen, the representative of the minister having conveyed to us the message of the Federal Minister for Youth Development, Youth and Sports Development, Mr. Sunday Dare, I have received the express mandates of the President of National Youth Council of Nigeria to lead this House into passing a vote of confidence on the Minister for Youth and Sports Development. One, for how he is steering the ship to the desired destination. And I'm going to do this, and I'll ask that every young person in here stand up on your feet in respect to the minister who has done extremely well for the young people of Federal Republic of Nigeria. And as you stand up with the mandate of the president to pass a vote of confidence on him, I want to ask this House, if you are with us, say yes. Say a reverberating yes. Say a resounding yes. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, permit me now to call the representative of the Governor of Osun State, the Honorable Commissioner for Youth and Sport, Honorable Yemi Aziz Lawal, to please step to this podium. Please let's put our hands together. Please put your hands together for the Honorable Commissioner, the Honorable Commissioner Youth and Sport. And permit me to tell you this very good story. He is the youngest of the commissioner to be the Commissioner of Sports, Youth and Sport in Osun State. Please put your hands together.
The Executive Governor of the State of Osun, Mr. Isiaka Agoyega Oyetola, His Imperial Majesty, Kábíyèsí, Musmo Ojina Soba níwọ̀n ẹgbẹ̀fà, Arọ́bá fínú bá ń pa ọ́, Kábíyèsí. The representative of the Minister for Youth and Sport, the Chairman, National Youth Council, the Executive of the National Youth Council, all the youths here present, and I do call them the people from my constituency. As you can see, I'm equally a young man, I'm a youth, and I want to say I belong in the same constituency as everyone here. First of all, let me apologize on behalf of the Executive Governor, who is unavoidably absent. He's on some very serious assignments outside the state. And I want to say again to His Imperial Majesty that I'm sorry for coming late. It was due to some other engagements with Mr. Governor this morning. I'm particularly sorry about that. Build the youth, build the nation. I'm very glad to be here today because the first thing I want to say is the kind of leadership that His Imperial Majesty is given to the youth of the nation. I can say categorically that almost everyone here present would love to be like you when we grow up. You have shown serious leadership. You have created in us the will to always want to become something in life. When we see other people doing well, it spurs us to want to do well. Thank you very much for the leadership, Kábíyèsí. I know that everybody is wondering what exactly are the plans of the government. We had a webinar this morning where we engaged our youth, and Mr. Governor made it very clear there that one of the major reasons why he's in government is to ensure that the youths are emancipated, is to ensure that we create a better future for the upcoming generation. That upcoming generation is where you and I belong. And I can tell you that Mr. Governor sees it like the future is here. we should all be ready to take up leadership. We should display our readiness. In the line of this, Mr. Governor has approved that we develop a youth policy document which is going to show the direction of the government. And there are 4 cardinal points in this youth policy document, which we call the 4 E's. First of all, it talks about education, it talks about engagement, it talks about empowerment, and it talks about entrepreneurship. I will implore every one of us to come together. Let's add our voice to what we are doing, so that at the end of the day, we all have a document that will be turnable anywhere. We have a document that will be all-inclusive, a document that will be accepted and acceptable by everyone. I am saying on behalf of Mr. Governor that we are working hard and we are going to continue to work hard to ensure that youths are better placed. Long live the state of Osun, long live the Yoruba land, long live Nigeria. Thank you.
Can you help me and do better than you just did? Thank you, Honorable Commissioner, ably representing the governor of the states. If you look at this commissioner, he is youthful and useful. Did you see that? Youthful. We've gone to states where commissioners of youth are men of 65 to 70 years. In Osun State, we have a young man who is within the range of a youth. Kudos, sir. God bless you very good. God bless you very good. I want to bring to the podium our second speaker. Just in a jiffy, like a mini skate, cut it into shrimps and pass your message. An environmentalist of repute. One-time Deputy President of National Youth Council of Nigeria, Yusuf Kenani.
Thank you so much, Mr. Temple. Your Imperial Majesty, sir, the Ooni of Ife, I specially recognize you. The representative of the Governor of Osun, State of Osun, representative of the Honorable Minister for Youth, and the keynote speaker, Dr. Elizabeth Jagrich. And I want to beg at this point to stand on the already established protocols. Thank you so much. Build the youth, build the nation. Yeah, time is fast spent, and I just want to bring it to our notice that the International Youth Day is a day for young people all over the world to actually assess themselves, evaluate their activities, and think ahead of the next possible step they need to take in their various respective locations, be it at your local government level, at the state level, and at the national level as well. Let me quickly run through. Some few years back, the United Nations did set up a program called the Sustainable Development Goals. And it is in line with that particular program, the SDGs, that the theme of this year's International Youth Day was actually set. And that is to call on the young people to remind them of their various activities as regards the engagement of the young people for global action. And I'm here to speak on the environment aspect of it, and I won't take much of your time. But just to let us know that of the 17 SDGs set by the United Nations, about 6 or 7 of the programs are related strongly to the environment. But before I go into that, we need to charge ourselves as young people, because the young people are the ones who are expected to drive these particular policies of the United Nations, and these they are expected to do in their respective locations. But I want to charge us as young people of this country some very scary data that we have from the National Bureau of the Statistics and some other agency as well, who carry out fact-finding so as to charge ourselves as young people. We all know there's something that is common around us: betting. It's in Lagos. It's everywhere in Southwest. Now, the shocking information is that 60 million Nigerian population between the age of 18 and 40 years do play bets every day. 60 million Nigerians between the age of 18 and 40 years. 2 billion per day is spent on betting in Nigeria. 2 billion naira per day. And annually we spend a total of 730 billion naira on betting per day. Why I'm bringing this up is for us to actually charge ourselves. The number of young people who stay glued to their TV to watch Big Brother Africa, that population, if they are to participate in the presidential election, they will bring in the president. But that is what we do as young people. And these are some of the things that we need to actually ask ourselves. Also, on the effect of drugs in the system, it is estimated with this record from the National Bureau of Statistics that about 10.8 million Nigerians do take cannabis. 10.8 million Nigerians do take cannabis, while about 4.8 do take other dangerous drugs. Like you all know, the cough syrup and the likes, which the federal government actually had to put a ban on, the effects in the system. This is a lot of the things that the young people in this, while we have those who are actually serious with their businesses. As at 10 years ago, we had just 2 rehab centers in Abuja. As we speak, we have 5 rehab centers. And that is to show the effect of these things on the young people. And these are some of the challenges that, as youth leaders, we need to challenge ourselves. In our various locations, what do we do to engage the youth? The Imperial Majesty is doing his bit. He has hosted us to a grand International Youth Day event. Now, he is doing his bit. My prayer is that he shouldn't get tired and he should be prepared to do more. While as young people, when we live here, International Youth Day is not a day for us to celebrate to merriment and the likes, but for us to challenge ourselves and think of those things that we need to do. Now, goal 6, clean water and sanitation. That in every city there must be clean water and there must be effective sanitation so as to give a serene environment. Goal 7, clean energy, which is affordable. Goal 8, sustainable cities and communities. Then we had a conference on this at Salt Lake City in the United States last year, where we had to really dwell on this matter. And a lot of young people from all over the world do participate at this event. At times I feel ashamed because I think to be the oldest amongst them, because they are quite younger than me and they are youths. Goal 13 talks about climate action. Goal 14 talks about life below water. How you have to protect every living thing on earth, those living in water. And goal 15 talks about everything dwelling on the land. Now, these are the SDGs set some years back, and they are expected to be achieved by 2030. We are in 2020, and I can tell you categorically that Nigeria, we have not achieved 20% of any of these goals, and we need to charge our government. It's not for us to keep quiet. It's a duty for each and every one of us that we must take up. Now, I'm to talk on environment, and I believe we understand what climate change is all about. Climate change happened to be the greatest threat to humanity before COVID-19. Now, everybody is trying to find solutions to COVID-19, but we believe once a vaccine is detected, that particular the pandemic will be taken care of. We pray so. But as far as climate change is concerned, it has to do with each and every one of us. My colleagues that stayed at the resort provided for us by His Imperial Majesty, you could see the feel of nature. You could feel that, warmth environment, that serene environment. That is how it is all over the world. Nigeria was once like that, but as a result of greed, selfishness, all the places that were provided to be serene, parks for young people, they have been sold. We all remember Festac 77, when Nigeria hosted the Festival of Arts Culture. An estate was developed for that particular competition in Lagos called Festac. That environment had playgrounds in about 1,300 closes in that estate. Playgrounds, trees in all the close. And I can tell you that those in charge of that particular estate, they have sold all the 1,300 parks for young people. There is no more serene environment. If you are in Lagos, you don't breathe a very good air into yourself. When you go to your village, you feel it. It is our responsibility to make the environment, to keep the environment. There is an ozone layer that protects the earth from the rays of the sun. Activities of human beings is depleting the ozone layer. The sun rays is penetrating more and the earth is eating up. And that is why we complain that everywhere is hot, we feel heat everywhere. And also our activities. We do not use good energy system. The refineries, all the combustions that takes place there, the emissions, they go to this ozone layer and they deplete them. This happens all over the world. And big economies that takes a lot of that participate in this a lot are trying to do a lot of things to actually curb that. And here we keep talking to our people and they say, what is climate change? I don't have any business with it. Our cars, the emissions, what comes out of it is regulated abroad. They've been regulating it since 1992 and now they are on Euro 11. Now, in your exhaust pipes of your vehicle, there is a catalytic converter that converts the combustion in the engine, and what comes out from the exhaust is non-poisonous. Now here they call it Indomie. Once there's a fault is blocked, they cut it off and they just weld it. So the poisonous air is what comes out of our vehicle. There is no authority to regulate this, and this we have been fighting in the last 10 years. And as young people, these are some of the things that we need to take up in our respective communities. How do we make our localities to look like the resort where we are living, where there are trees, where you feel nature? How do you protect the wetlands? In Lagos, the entire Woroshoki end, they are wetlands. They are not expected for developmental purposes. But those places have been sandfilled. Houses are there. The drainages have not been visited. So whenever there's huge rainfall, there's huge flooding in Lagos. Everywhere is flooded because they are not visiting the drainage system. We talk about the Boko Haram and the Fulani, the cattle rearers and the herdsmen. A lot of it, 90% of it has to do with climate change. We've known these Fulanis for rearing animals for years. Do we hear of conflict? Do we hear of them carrying guns, killing people? But as a result of desertification in the north, because of drought, hardly do they get to see rainfall. And at the end of the day, if this rainfall comes, the land is so hardened that the water finds it difficult to flow, to percolate, and they begin to flow and create flash flooding. And the desertification is pushing the herdsmen down to the middle. Likewise, flooding is pushing some people from the south down to the middle, and that is why the concentration point is in the middle belt of the country. So these are some of the things we need to look at, and as young people, we need to engage every one of us as local chapter, state chapter of the National Youth Council. We need to we need to engage our people, and we need to make these differences. Then, as young people, for you to carry out those things that is expected of us, the Imperial Majesty is leading. Dr. Elizabeth, I know of her program, her husband, I know all that they're doing. It's not until you're rich, but at your very own corner, you should be able to do something. And for you to be able to do something, you must discover yourself. You must be truthful to yourself. You must be honest to yourself. You ask yourself, the way people see me, is that my real personality? Do people view me exactly the way I am? Am I true to myself? Because that is one particular thing you must have as a youth advocate and you want to bring about change. Then who are your role models? For me, we have appreciated all that the Imperial Majesty is doing. He is a very good role model. Who are your role models? These are the people that will help you to shape your life, to prepare you to plan for the future and achieve all you want. So I have to leave now because there's no time. And I'll leave you with this, that you should aspire to inspire before you retire. You should aspire to inspire before you expire. So let us note that, and as we leave, when we are celebrating the next International Youth Day, then you must have seen some positive impact you will have made in your communities. Yeah, Your Excellency, sir, it is not my wish to actually, I'm looking at, my phone is dying now, the issue of that picture. I didn't want to bet Mr. You are doing well. He was here. He took some pictures. That picture is actually on the internet now. He is known everywhere. Your Excellency, I want to be known everywhere. Thank you.
This guy is loaded. Please put your hands together for Yusuf Kelani. Wow. Spellbound, spellbound, spellbound. Interesting. Interesting. This young guy is moving around the world making Nigerian youth proud. We're proud of you, brother. God bless you, really good. I am not a greedy man, otherwise I would have prayed that nobody goes here again after me. I set the foundation. I like that. You are positive. Don't mind the person that says you are. Ladies and gentlemen, we have in this house this evening a young man, a youth. And when I mean a youth, I mean a youth. The Speaker of Nigerian Youth Parliament, one of the organs that is seriously championing the empowerment and the development of young people of Nigeria. I want to welcome our brother, the Speaker, Right Honorable Mubarak Mijinyawa, to the microphone. Just 2 minutes to do justice to his speech. You're welcome, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much for this wonderful opportunity. It's an honor to stand before one of the most powerful traditional rulers in West Africa. It's an honor to stand before the Oba of Ile-Ife, the Ooni of Ife. His Imperial Majesty, the Arole Odudua, Oba Adede Enichan Ogusi, the Ojaji II, Ooni of Ife. Ladies and gentlemen, this afternoon is my singular honor to commend His Imperial Majesty and the Executive Governor of Osun State for hosting the entire Nigerian youth in this very, very wonderful emirate. Permit me to acknowledge the efforts being put in place by the Honorable Minister of Youth and Sports by sending in one of the most dedicated civil servants I have ever known. Ladies and gentlemen, I introduce to you the mother of Nigerian youth, Dr. Mrs. Abdullahi. She has been a mother Your Honor, sir, I will not forget to mention the effort being put in place by my brother in person of Ambassador Sokubo Saraibe Sokubo, the President of the National Youth Council of Nigeria and the President of Nigerian Youth. At this juncture, I would like to acknowledge each and every member or executive member of the National Youth Council of Nigeria, alongside members of the Nigerian Parliament. Your Highness, with your permission, I would like to say a bit about the Nigerian Youth Parliament. The Parliament was established in 2008 by the late President Umaru Musa Yar'Adua with the sole aim of training Nigerian youth in the area of legislature, because he has realized the gap between people getting into legislature and the legislations being made or being put in place by them. So by creating a platform whereby young people can come together, learn about the workings of the legislature, will strengthen the legislative arm of government itself, and will also give them more courage to get into politics at their early age. Your Highness, sir, the Nigerian Parliament has produced member of the House of Representatives, our pioneer speaker. It has produced members of State House of Assemblies. The Nigerian Youth Parliament, Your Highness, has produced the pioneer chairperson of the Commonwealth Youth Council. You can imagine the magnitude in that position. Your Highness, the Parliament has also produced chairperson and members of the Commonwealth Youth Parliament. As I stand before you, Your Highness, by the special grace of God, in the next Commonwealth Convention, I will be contesting for the position of the Speaker of the Commonwealth Youth Parliament. Your Highness, sir, at this very auspicious event, I have a very wonderful wish for this emirate. May this emirate live long. May Your Highness live long. And may God continue to bless each and every one that is a descendant or that is in the blood of this particular emirate. Your Highness, if you notice, right from where I was sitting down, I removed my shoes for one reason. I am from a royal family, and I know what it takes, and I know the respect and the magnitude in each and every traditional ruler, and I respect them so very much to the highest level. Your Highness, I want to call on your attention to acknowledge the presence of about 150 Nigerian youth coming from across the country, making sacrifices, risking their lives. Some of us were even robbed along on their way coming to this auspicious event. Your Highness, sir, I am seeking and craving for your indulgence to, in your own blessings, support these young people and encourage them more so that they will go back to their various destinations smiling. Your Royal Highness, sir, on a personal note, I have two prayers. One is for your Highness to pray for all Nigerian youth that are present here with his blessings. We are praying and we are seeking your Highness to pray for us so that our lives will be successful. My second prayer, it is too personal, and that belongs to only me and myself. And the prayer is, your Highness, being someone that comes from the royal family, I would love to extend the love of the royal family I receive here. In that regard, your Highness, sir, I am praying with your permission, sir. I am seeking with your permission, sir, to go back to Gombe State and to local government in particular with a Yoruba or a traditional name, not necessarily title, sir. Your Highness, sir, I believe by so doing will boost your capacity even down to the northeastern part of the country. I have learned that the former president of the National Youth Council of Nigeria, my brother Bello Shagari, was given an appointment. Your Highness, we really appreciate that. I really appreciate northern Nigerian youth. Your Highness, sir, with your permission, I would like to take my leave. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Please, let's put our hands together for the Honorable Speaker. A very smart guy. Please put your hands together for him. He's a smart guy. I love anybody who is very, very, very smart. He piloted his point to the last destination. Please put your hands together. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, without taking much of our time now, permit me as we call on Dr. Mrs. Elizabeth Jakrish for her own award. Please put your hands together as she steps there. When it's time for Kabisi to talk, we'll know the Yoruba name for the speaker.
His Imperial Majesty, the Ooni of Ife, the Royal Father of Nigerian Youth, on behalf of the National Youth Council of Nigeria and the Ministry of Youth and Sport Development, under the leadership, the council under the leadership of Ambassador Sokubo Serabe Sokubo, will be presenting this matron of the Nigerian Youth Award to Dr. Mrs. Elizabeth Jakrichte. One of the things I love so much about this woman, aside her exceptional beauty, she's as kind as her beauty. Some of us who follow her very well on Instagram some time ago, she gave 500,000 each to 3 young ladies who complain of not being able to feed themselves. So we believe that with this award, Nigerian youth will continue to benefit from your act of magnanimity.
Thank you very much. Sincerely, I've enjoyed the cooperation and the working relationship with Mr. Temple. And I wish to say this, Mr. Temple, if you wish to stay until the next 3, 4, 5 days, I'll be ready to host you. Please put your hands together. Again, I made it today, but I need to say this with my open heart that it won my heart with his sense of reason. Mr. Temple, I am your host for the next 5 days. And I promise you, you'll stay in a very nice hotel and there will be software available for you. I said software. Don't give any interpretation to software. Permit me to say this for all the Nigerian youths that are here, that are 2 very young Nigerians that are here working with His Imperial Majesty in this palace. They're extremely kind to anything that has to do with the youth. And it will be an aberration for me not to appreciate these wonderful people. Having this program to this very point, they played very wonderful parts. Please permit me to do this introduction of Comrade Idowu Salami. Please put your hands to the Traditional Secretary to His Imperial Majesty. And also Comrade Moses Olafari, the Press Secretary to His Imperial Majesty. Wonderful people. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, now we want to listen. We want to hear. We want to listen to that sweet, wonderful, pleasant, imperial, amiable, Gangantua, our own His Imperial Majesty, the King who has always loved the youth, and to speak with us at this moment. Shall we all rise and sing the song for His Imperial? You are a leader. You are a leader. You are a leader. Oh, you are a leader. You are a leader. You are a leader. You are a leader. Greatest Nigeria, you are 7 Bosa for His Imperial Majesty. Bosa, 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 Bosa. 1 year for His enemies. Thank you very much. Please, shall please be seated and let's listen to His Imperial Majesty.
The camera crew, please, you are blocking me from seeing my beautiful, adorable, fantastic, please take strategic positions or you will come down a bit. I need to see those beautiful faces. Okay, I know what to do. If you cannot go down, I will stand up. So I want, please sit I will stand up. Don't worry, do your job. Greatest Nigerian youth. Don't tell me we're hungry. Because today I am not hungry. I am happy. Whenever you are happy, you can't even remember food. I want all our leaders in Abuja to hear us from Ife. Are you all ready? Yes. Greatest of the greatest of the greatest Nigerian. Everybody can see me now. Fantastic. Oh, fantabulous. Nigerian youth, you are too wonderful. Please, a round of applause for yourself. I am very delighted to be in the midst of the youth of this country that I understand that we can flow and we can be on the same page. Your Excellency, the Executive Governor of Osun State, ably represented here by the Commissioner of Youth and Sport, the Honorable Minister, also ably represented here. I have been chatting with him back and forth. He's very passionate about Nigerian youth. So many activities that we've been jointly doing together. I can attest to his commitment, and his very passionate feeling towards Nigerian youth. Unfortunately, they're still having FEC meeting right now. He won't be able to be with us, but he's here with us in the spirit, and he's ably represented by the director of MSD. I thank you all here today you are here. I've always been saying it. The door of this palace is open to all of you. Look at this throne. It belongs to each and every Nigerian youth. I want you to repeat after me. The throne of Oduduwa belongs to each and every Nigerian youth.
Belongs to each and every Nigerian youth.
Once again, the throne of Oduduwa belongs to each and every Nigerian youth.
Belongs to each and every Nigerian youth.
The throne of Oduduwa belongs to each and every Nigerian youth.
Belongs to each and every Nigerian youth.
Greatest Nigerian youth.
Yes.
I can see that you're very gallant. Today, it's a great opportunity for me that I've been waiting for a very long time. I want to thank all of you, particularly the leader of NYC, Comrade Sikimo, and all the executive members that are here. I might not mention each and everybody's name, but have it at the back of your mind that I recognize you, I honor you, and it's indeed my great joy to be in your midst. Also, all the youths that came from far and near that have had one challenge or the other, I can assure you that as the royal father and the royal host, consider everything done. I will work with the planning committee to see to how the logistics will be sorted out. Now, Comrade Nigerian, you requested for something, but I will give you something further that you will take back to Gombe. Your Yoruba name is, because you are from a royal family, anybody that is from a royal family, from the throne of Oduduwa, must have acronym, prefix or suffix added to their name. Today, you have been famous before, you are no more famous, and you have gotten more honor today. So today, your name is now Adeniyi. That's your name. Because you are a prince, but a prince with a lot of honor. That's the meaning of your name. Please, a round of applause for Comrade Adeniyi. I want to give another thing to Comrade Adeniyi. I want to give him a princess from his house. Are you all in agreement to that? I am hearing yes, I'm hearing no. Are you all in agreement to that? If you are in agreement to that, say hi. If you are not in agreement to that, say no. A round of applause for Comrade Adeniyi. Are you able and capable? Or do you want to? So the remaining will talk about it. A round of applause for him. I want each and every one of us to listen to something that I want to read out. I rarely read my speeches, very rarely. But today, it's a great opportunity for me to say things that are very, very dear to my heart and very deep. And I want you to all listen to it very well and carefully well. I've been thinking over and over that what is fundamentally wrong with Nigerian youth. The destiny of this country is in our hands. We are the driver of the destiny of our country. Yet, we are not holding the steering and we are not driving it. What is wrong with us? We are always complaining about the system. We are always gathering like this, and eventually it will turn to a talk show. It will turn to a jamboree, and we have had a very few effects within the system. It's a dog-eat-dog system. Everybody wants to get rich quick. Everybody wants to get to the top very fast. What is fundamentally wrong with us? If you look at the history of this country, the pioneers of this country, from the 50s, even the early 40s, all the way to the 50s, they were very young Nigerian youths. The oldest, one of the oldest among them was Nnamdi Azikiwe of blessed memory. And how old was he when the whole struggle started? 44 years old. They were in their 20s and they took the bull by the horn and they said, enough is enough. We do not want anybody to colonize us again. They took the leadership mantle and they spread across the entire geographical region of this country. We all know their age range, from the north to the east to the western part of this country. They did so well. Nigerians, the youth of then, some of them are still alive now. We were way long ready before any country in the whole continent of Africa. But we couldn't agree amongst ourselves, which actually led our independence to 1960. We were ready early 50s, late 40s. Thanks to all these Nigerian youths there. People like you and I. But what is wrong with us? Let us think. We will complain about our president. We will complain about the Senate president. We will complain about the vice president. We will complain about everybody. We will complain about governors. Why are we always complaining about them? They are not superhumans. They are humans like us. They stand in the position of leadership and stewardship. They are not perfect. But perfection is in the strength of togetherness of Nigerian youths. I repeat, perfection is in the strength of togetherness of Nigerian youths. Because not even one youth can be called Nigerian youth. One youth will say, I am one of the Nigerian youths. But when we can come together, we have the powers in our hand. And that leads me to what I want to say tonight, this evening. I want to read out something to you because it has been a worry for me. I went to Gombe State like about 2 years ago, and I saw a lot of Nigerian youths, what they were doing. Even up north, I was thinking it's only here in the southern part of the country. But I realized that it's a common force, and I don't know that kind of force guiding very long time that why are we like this Nigerian youth? I want to read it out again because the Lord has been actually transcribed, modified, but I'm giving you the raw data. Big Brother Nigeria. Erica caught on camera having sex with Kidawa. Nigerian youth comments 16,700. Likes 103,000. Shares 70,800 on Twitter. Nigerian government signed power generation contract with Siemens to boost electricity. Nigerian youth comments 4. Likes 2. Shares 6. Are you following me? Now, election. Total number of votes cast Big Brother Nigeria in 2019, 170 million. Total number of votes cast general election 2019, 27 million. Everybody say 27 million. Say it again. I cannot hear you very well. Compared to 170 million. A practical reality of who we are as Nigerian youths. Where our priority lies as Nigerian youths. The funny side in all of this is that we still go to bed, have a good sleep, and wake up with the hope to meet a Nigeria we didn't create. Did we create this Nigeria? But we have to come together. Our diversity is our greatest strength. We must make it work. The future of this country is here. We all have to come together to make it work. Nigerian youths, Nigerian youths, Nigerian youths. Unfortunately, every time I talk about this kind of attitude, everyone just laughs and moves on. I pray today we will not all stand up from this celebration and move on. Are you making a promise to me? Yes. I'm not hearing you very well. Yes. You know I gingered you up before. You don't know why I'm doing that. Should I ginger you up again? Greatest Nigerian youth! Greatest Nigerian youth! We have a lot of work to do. Are we ready? What kind of nation are we building? When people say this country, or what kind of country is this? They are indirectly saying these people. Is this the people that make a country? So, what kind of Nigerian youths are we? Food for thought for all of us. We cannot continue to cry over spilled milk. Please, Nigerian youth leader, please come forward. Where are the executives? Please, can you stand up like me? All the executives. I want to ask you a question. Are you for real to change the narrative of this country, or you are in this NYC and for what you want, to make money, to eke out livelihood, for political relevance? Are you really for Nigeria? I'm not hearing you. Are you sure? Now I want to put a challenge to you, and the whole world will hear us. There is something very strong among Nigerian youth. And I'm preferring this solution. We should fine-tune it. If we are serious, there is Big Brother Nigeria. Yes or no? Yes. And we know that our country is the giant of Africa. Yes or no? Yes. My suggestion is this. Because I don't like us to just continue to cry over spilled milk. Continue to talk and not walk the talk. Let us all walk the talk. Let us put a structure together and set up a reality show that is called, or we can come up with a name, but my thought process is telling me to call it the Big Nigerian Reality Show. Powered by MUSICFACENIGERIA. The Big Nigeria Reality Show, powered by MUSICFACENIGERIA. That reality show, we know all the things that attract the youth now. It's called Ajasa or whatever, Jara, whatever. But we will put it at the time we want to change leadership in this country. So that for you to enjoy that show, it is your voter's card. You will have access to it. So that you will stop complaining. You will stop complaining about our leaders. You are always looking at their faults. You go, what can you do when you get there? Hey, they are stealing, they are doing this, they are doing that. And the power is in your hand. That reality show, we can so much fine-tune it that every Nigerian youth will log on to that show. And it is going to be linked to them going to go and vote. And it will become a natural thing. So any leader that is not doing well, you will just refer to the Big Nigeria Reality Show. But please, don't let any politician hijack it from all of you. If they hijack it again, you have sold your birthright. Let it be a political for change in Nigeria. I can assure you, everybody will log on to it, and it will be very close to when you are changing leadership, and it will change the narrative of this country. We are going to fine-tune it together. The funding of it is not going to be tied to anything. It will be a very freelance way of funding it. If we put our mind together, yes, we can do it. Can we do it or not? Let us come up with a lot of initiatives. Executives, you are not sitting down. If you like, kneel down. Anything you like to do, do. So far you are an executive, you must stand up. Like me, I've been standing too. Let us come up with other initiatives. Everybody, you go to social media, always abusing our leaders. Today they will abuse Buhari, tomorrow they will abuse Oshiba, they will abuse Governor this, they will abuse Senate President. Why are you abusing them? Constructive criticisms for our nation is very important. The way we brand ourselves is the way people will carry us. The way we say positive things is the way the world will perceive us. Power lies in the tongue. Today, as we are celebrating International Youth Day, I want to tell all Nigerian youths that we should change in the way we think. Our thought process must be geared towards how our nation will be better. On this final note, I want to pray for all of you. I'm always very happy to see you. God bless you. God bless everywhere you have come from. The strength of this country is our diversity. As you are going back to everywhere you have come from, you will go back in peace and not in peace. Everything you lay your hands upon will prosper. And so shall it be today, tomorrow, and forever. God bless you all, and God bless all the works of your hand, and God bless Nigerian youth, and God bless Nigeria.
Thank you very much. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, please who as the chairman. Please, ladies and gentlemen, Kabiyesi, His Imperial Majesty, I'm presenting to you a youth magazine, and to come and do the official presentation, the chairman, Nigerian Youth Council of Osun State, please. Please, could you please put your hands together? Then let me just give you this very good information and this news. The reality show Kabiyesi promised Dr. Mrs. Elizabeth Dakri said she's going to sponsor the reality show. Sponsoring the reality show through Jack Rich Foundation. Please put your hands together once again. That there's a great commitment the reality show is making. Okay, you want to go and say thank you? Thank you. Immediately after this now, we now go to group photographs. But please, the group photograph will be the people on the high table with Kabiyesi alone, please. The people on the high table. Immediately after this, the people from the ministry. Now, please, the people on the high table and Kabiyesi, the people on the high table and Kabiyesi for the group photograph. Please, the people from the ministry to please be set now.